Let's discuss. Hey everyone, it's Rachel back again with another video, and today I will be checking out one song off of Humanity's Last Breath's new album, Ashen, which is out now. I will be doing the full album shortly. As a lot of y'all probably noticed, I have not been making videos recently, and a lot of you know why, and I don't really want to get into it, but I am excited to check out the new album and at least one track off of it. I'm going to be checking out Death Spiral. I will link the video I'll be using in the reaction portion of this, as well as all the promotional links for Humanity's Last Breath, like their merch, any sort of, social media, all that good stuff will be in the description of this video. Other than that, I'm going to stop talking and we are going to get straight into it. This may sound great. Oh, not the lone slow drop. Ooh, those vocals on Rejoice. Placement is really cool. So groovy. Humanity's Last Breath, Death Spiral, let's discuss. I normally in my intros to stuff like this mention which of the singles were my favorite and stuff. I forgot to do that this time. Passage has remained and grown as my favorite single, although I enjoyed all of them. I felt like that track kind of encompassed everything that I enjoyed about the other songs while bringing some new things to my excitement about the record. So I am curious once I hear the rest of it which tracks will be my favorite. I am expecting that one to be a very high bar to exceed, but I am expecting at the same time pretty much all of this album to go onto this my playlist. This will be no different. This track, I loved this. This is just destructive, and that is an expectation for this band in any track for me. And some songs feel like they really lean into that, and some of these singles have a lot of not necessarily melodic aspects, because I feel like Humanity's Last Breath does their lighter pieces in a way where I wouldn't describe it that way. With one of my favorite things though are the pitched screams in all of their songs. Where I hear that, it's just like such a standout moment. So hearing those sprinkled into this track a lot, that is a huge plus for me. But also some of the like teamwork between the guitars and the vocals, some of the riff just kind of like lines perfectly with the vocal delivery and such, but at the same time, you know, on the other side of the coin, some of the riffs just go completely their own direction, are really wild, which is something I'm looking for when coming to this band, and no doubt I got that. The variation on that last chorus was really neat. I need to re-listen to the vocals on that part and such, because it just sounded a bit different to me. In terms of vocals also, this is just a massive track. There are certain deliveries that match that sort of ominous, again, I hate to reuse the same word, but like the destructive mood that these singles and really their sound kind of gives off. I feel like this album is certainly going to be one of those things. When you look at the visualizer on this video, it matches up exactly with pretty much how I visualize what I'm talking about here sonically. So kind of like matching the sound with visuals that line up perfectly. It's got that like, I don't even know. I've never been in a situation that I would really like put this as the soundtrack, but I've played some games and stuff where I feel like it does match up. So maybe that helps make more sense. But anyway, back to this track. I cannot emphasize enough, I know I've already mentioned them, but how much I loved those pitched screams. They just add a very different angle for me while fitting in, obviously, very well. It does not, you know, sometimes you'll hear a song that's like this heavy and then there's like saxophone or something. And that's more of like a contrast thing, while this just sort of like adds on to the sound, but in a different way, if that makes sense. The sound also production-wise, unsurprisingly, with Buster being in this band and doing their production, is huge. And I think with some of the singles, some people were mentioning not being as big of a fan of this mix and stuff, but I think that this sound is perfect for what they're going for with these songs, that sort of mood and vibe that I was just talking about. And the snare that I had mentioned, I think somewhere in like the first minute of the song that may have been, if you pay attention to like certain placements of things and how big the sound is, I just love that. And it's got the atmosphere, which is a huge win for me. A lot of my favorite projects and bands, that is like a big pillar for them. And that Animate would be an example. While they're much different than Humanity's Last Breath, I think you could still, you know, have a little bit of overlap in the Venn diagram when you look at it like bigger picture wise. I'll sort of try to wrap this up, since I will be doing the full album video soon, probably next week at the time that this goes up. Probably the beginning of next week, maybe, when I have the full video done. But with this, I really think this will land higher up on my playlist as well, because it, at the same time as it has like a little bit of like the wackiness and unpredictability that I've talked about in my previous Humanity's Last Breath, you know, videos, and when we talk about them on stream, stuff like that. It also has moments where it's like quite the opposite of that, and is very much kind of working together, like I'm talking about with the delivery and some of the riffs and the vocals. Even in, I think it's the first time possibly that the song name is dropped in the song, it's very, you know, it's very unified there, and then it goes into that really groovy section. I would probably call the majority of this groovy. It does have some parts that are more focused on that sort of like panic chord style that definitely add to kind of the mood that I keep referencing and such. But I think that this probably does have one of my favorite riffs so far from these singles, even though I have a different favorite track and stuff. There's just some wild guitar work on this, and I really like that sort of variation, having like the groove down, having some sort of panning type panic stuff going on, having a variation to pick from, and then kind of, you know, getting two different sides that are a bit different than some of what we saw on the seen on the singles, but at the same time have seen in their discography. Hopefully that makes sense. It's a lot of words. I am just getting back into making videos, so I need to dust myself off, but this was somewhere I really wanted to start. Those are the things I really enjoy about this. I have high expectations for this album. I am expecting it to land towards the top of my list, given the singles and the foundation they've kind of put down. I do hope on the record to see some more stuff that I'm not expecting. I don't even want to go into it like, oh, I want another track like Passage because it's my favorite, but I'm just curious to see how they'll keep switching things up, even when it comes to like the finer details, like what I was talking about. I can't remember the exact, because I've only listened to it once, but there's like one word that's placed, like it just sounds very different from the rest, and I think that's intentional, and it's things like that you can kind of catch on to and overthink about and stuff. I really enjoy, so this has me more excited for the album. That's what my kind of expectation was going into this. Again, I will link all of their social media, any sort of physical copies of the album or merch that you can get. All of that will be in the description of this video, and my full album video will be coming soon. I would like to thank everyone for the messages and such over the last, 10 days or so. I appreciate it. I apologize if I didn't get back to you, but I do appreciate very much the support. I will include, my Linktree. I forgot how to even do an outro. I will also include my Linktree that will have the Patreon, that will have the Discord server, that will have my Twitch channel, which I've kind of put on the back burner briefly. As you can tell, I haven't been making videos, haven't been streaming, so it would not make sense to roll that out in the midst of everything. But I am doing a Patreon stream this Saturday at the time that this is going up. We'll be reviewing some of our favorite songs from 2023 so far, so if you want to be a part of that stream, you can join the Patreon. I have a post up there where I mention the stream itself and ask people to drop links to the songs that they thought have been the best out of the year so far, and we'll be going over some of those as well as some that I will be bringing to it. I'm going to be I have all of the Patreon revamp stuff drafted out. I'm just waiting at this point for me to kind of get back into a human cycle and be able to deliver on all of that. So big shout out to my Patreon people. I will be having at the end of my videos now a list of those people who I'm very thankful for. They've been very supportive through all of this, and I've been trying to kind of put up what content I can on there, and it's been a little bit different, but it's been super easy to work with everyone. But I'm going to be launching this sort of Patreon revamp in probably the next 2 weeks from the time that this goes up, and everything that's currently on there is offered, and we will be doing a stream. I will be doing a YouTube request stream next Tuesday, so I'm recording this on a Tuesday. It's going to be a week from now. I don't know even what the date of today is, let alone next Tuesday. Let me have a look. So the 15th will be the next request live stream. If you're interested, it will be 1 p.m. Mountain Time. I think that's 7 p.m. GMT right now, but I will eventually post a link ahead of time, probably a few days ahead of time. That is a lot of talking. The links are in the link tree. Thank you very much for watching. I appreciate it.